Hi, good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon. How are
afternoon. How
you?
are you? I'm good. Um, I wanted to ask, what are we going to be doing? Are we going to be doing any lab today?
Yes, you're going to be doing a brief lab today. It's going to be on scientific method to kind of help you guys understand
Mhm.
just some aspects of science research. Um, and it's going to be brief. You just need a pack of M&Ms.
Oh, okay. Oh, I did have some. I was eating them. Okay.
You can't eat your M&Ms. You got to save them. So, and we'll be talking about a couple of things. I just want to make sure that you guys all have access to active learning. And so we'll go over the procedures on how to make sure you're able to get into the class and make sure you're able to do your homework. And then I will do a brief intro to your lab, and then Israel will take it. So I have been getting your emails. I have been trying to resolve some of the issues. If you guys take a look, there is a survey or a quiz that popped up, and that's due on the 26th. Have you guys seen that? If not, you can find it under module 2. And I'll take it.
I had I had a question, and I think I addressed this with Israel last week. Is
Yes.
there an alternative time? Only because we have class in the evening, and around I know this is a 4 hours, 1 to 4. So around 2:30ish, I'm gonna start. I would have to start driving because I'm in Bakersfield. I have to start driving to Lemoore.
Okay. So to try to address that, that's partially what the question is about. I'm trying to find a time that is going to be another time that's going to be acceptable for the majority of the students. And again, you're not required to be in the Zoom sessions. It's just we're trying to help you guys work through the material better. And usually it's good to have an instructor or a TA present to kind of work through the material. I may be, well, I'm working on alternative times. So I gave you guys some suggestions. I do have a couple of TAs that will be coming on board. They're just a little late starting. So I just need to get their hours, and then so we may be able to offer one more additional time for you guys to come in and work with the TA and to finish up the labs. Is that, is that?
Yes, I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, and I understand. I know that some of you guys, I believe, some of you guys have contacted me that you're still in high school and you guys have high school schedules, and so I have to remember that as well too. And so we're going to work with you to kind of accommodate that. And I'm sorry for such a slow rollout on things. It was just there's a lot of factors that have come to play, especially since the class was initially only one section and then we expanded to 2. So we have more people that we're trying to work with as well. So we want to try to make sure that we have all the resources that you guys need to be successful in the course. Okay. So since I'm getting a nice little attendance, I believe there's what, 12 of you guys here now? 13. So I don't know if you guys can you guys see me in the classroom?
No.
Okay.
I do, but there's a big echo.
Okay. Oh, you see it if I walk out here, right? So towards the table. So you see me now.
Yeah.
So we have class. I have class in this class normally. So my lectures are going to be coming out of here. The room is kind of echoey, and so you also have to let me know if you can't hear me or things like that. So a lot of the times I'll be recording the lectures from this room. So that you guys, if you guys can't hear me, let me know, and I'll try to find a better place to record the lectures. But the idea, I want it to be a more real experience. That's the reason why I want to try to have the lectures on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays in the morning, because I have a class that's in the same, that's 32 as well. So that's one thing. The other thing is, I'm also going to put on the Canvas shell another place where you guys can ask questions, because you guys are getting a lot of students asking exactly the same question, and then I try to respond to each of you guys separately. So what I'll do is I'll have another page that's a question and answer page. And so every week I'll try to go there just twice a week to look if there's any questions. We'll say, we should probably do it like Saturday, since we're gonna do cocktail hour on Saturday, and we should probably do it on, let's say on Wednesday. So then that way, there's 2 days a week that, I'll be answering your questions, and so you guys will get kind of solutions pretty fast. So, some of you guys have emailed me about the voucher. The discount voucher. So we're in the process of getting that right now. I'm hoping to have those vouchers ready to send out to the individuals that have contacted me. This Thursday, I'm hoping, but I'll have to make a couple calls to confirm that that's going to be the case. Okay, so let's do a little logistics. So are all of you guys familiar with Israel?
I see some familiar names from last week.
Yeah, I see some names as well. You guys, instead of you don't have to answer me directly, I like it. It makes me feel better. Otherwise, I feel lonely and all by myself, and I want to go cry somewhere. So if you guys respond, it usually helps me out. But if you can't respond, like you're working or something like that, you can respond by typing in the chat window, and it'll pop up, and then we'll be able to see that as well too. Okay? Or you can give me a thumbs up. That'll also let me know that you guys have heard me and that we're good. And then it makes me feel a little loved. Everybody wants to feel a little loved. Are you guys there?
Yes, we got you.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, see, already you're making me feel better. I'm smiling. Okay, so I'm going to share my page so that you guys can see some things that we're adding, and there are going to be more things that are going to be added on slowly. Like I said, we have my TAs all kind of got roped in late. So, and Israel has to give me his times. I'm sure he's kind of talked to you guys about it a little bit, but okay, under modules, there will be a link that's going to be opening up. It'll be at the very top of the module set itself. I'll show you here in a second once I make it active. It will actually, can you guys actually see my screen? Just want to be sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, it will actually have links that will get you to the lecture. It will get you to the lab. And as we get those second alternative times, we'll be putting those on there as well too, okay? So you guys will be able just to click that and to get to the Zoom lectures or Zoom links, okay? Let's see. My computer always acts up a little bit, so it's a little slow, it's a little dated. I've been trying to push it out of a couple of windows to try to get a new one. It hasn't worked yet, but we're working. Okay, so it's active now. It's going to be changing because the office or their tutoring times will be available. Their lab times will be available. My lab times will also be available. Okay, and we want to try to make it friendly so you guys are able to sit there, get the work done, and get it done in a timely manner. So part of your lab assignment is to show that you guys have completed the lab, that you actually did the lab itself, rather than Google the questions and find the answers to them that way. So I needed a physical representation of you doing the lab itself. That could be a very, 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 very short video, or it could be or it could be just snapshots of you doing the lab. And it doesn't have to be you physically doing the lab, but the setup and the experiment being done, because I know that some people they have limitations of showing themselves in photos and pictures. And we're trying to be, make it accepting so that we can incorporate everybody having the opportunity to get an education, okay? So we're gonna find workarounds if needed. But if you're in that situation, let me know. One of the things that I wanna emphasize is that I know some of you guys are shy and don't like to be the center of attention, but you guys are gonna be working in careers that require you to get out of that shyness. And so we're gonna try to help you with that process by putting you in situations where you have to talk to people and interact with people. And that's gonna be necessary for you to complete your path to your career and what you guys are looking towards, okay? I believe there's a nice little question about, does everyone have to post? So if you guys are working, yes, all of these videos will be posted later. So we're gonna try to make them active as soon as they're possible. So are you guys able to see the closed caption? You guys should be able to enable it so you guys are able to see it on your end. And usually it'll be in the corner, click on it. So if you guys do need closed captioning, it should be available. Now,
Can I talk about the lecture upload?
yes, go ahead.
So I'm in charge of uploading the lecture and the lab. So I try to get it within at least 2 days. I'm pretty busy this semester, it looks like, but 2 days maximum, I'll have everything up. If by somehow I haven't gotten anything up, please email me to get on it. So if you do miss a day, of lab or lecture, don't worry, I will have everything uploaded as soon as possible.
Okay, so there's another good question in the chat window. It says, do I have to purchase the lab before starting working on the modules? No, you do not have to purchase the lab to start working on the modules. I haven't got my lab yet, so you guys are okay. You guys are going to be doing labs that are going to be independent of the modules initially. Some of the labs that you guys will be doing are just learning about the lab environment itself to kind of get you guys started. Okay, and then we're trying to give you guys time to get your labs, and we know that there's been some logistic errors that have happened because they had the wrong starting date. They actually had it starting this week instead of last week, and so that also affects things a little bit. So we're trying to iron out those details and give you guys a little bit of comfort room. And then I also know that some of you guys are waiting for me to get you guys the vouchers. And so what we'll be doing, we'll be trying to get you guys those vouchers. I'll let you know how much of a discount that you'll be having on Thursday. And again, it's going to vary based upon your financial need. If you don't have financial need, I'm going to ask you just go ahead and purchase the kit. Hopefully you found a partner, then you guys can split that cost to make it a little more cost effective. About your lab partners, there's that little survey that you guys are going to list your lab partners. Both partners have to be, have to list that. So you have to go through it, even though you guys are partners, so then I can confirm that you guys agree to be partners. I don't want somebody to say, oh yeah, they're my partner, and the other person doesn't say, no, I don't like that person at all. So the survey, if you guys go to modules, the module should be, and you may want to refresh because a lot of things have been posted, and it's going to be continued to be posted here in a minute. But a lot of things are refreshed today. So if you guys go to module 2 or week 2 module, it's like 1, 2, 3. The 5th thing down, it says lab partners and alternative Zooms. Is it showing up on your guys' side? Do you guys see it? Anyone there? Did I lose you?
I have to give me one. Oh, okay. Laura said she sees it.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you guys just take a minute answer those questions for me. It'll help me get everything together on my end, and then also push people, you know, to start doing the things that they need to do on their end. From my understanding, because actually I just got a message just now. So my kit came in, and like I said, the logistics were all kind of screwed up. I wanted them to send it the week that we started, and they sent it late. So it actually took less than a week for me to get my kit in that context. So it should take you about a week or two to get your kit. If it takes longer than that, just kind of reach out to me, let me know. And it's going to be flexible. You guys, I mean, they're going to be deadlines, but your deadlines are going to be flexible because you guys are taking this course online and things like that. When you're ordering things to come in, anything can happen. It gets shipped to the wrong address, things like that. But if you guys keep me in the loop, I'm willing to give you that buffer so that you guys can make up that time and make up those labs. But you got to keep me in the loop. You got to communicate. Okay? Okay. So can you guys all see that? So I want to take you guys quickly through active learning. So you guys should be at this point already enrolled in active learning. So if you guys go ahead and click that link, it would have been in that very first module, week 1 module. And then you're going to go ahead and hit load active learning. Now, if you're already enrolled, you're good to go. If you're not, then it'll ask you to enter your name, and it's going to ask you for your email address. So if you guys can use your school email address, it makes it easier for me, and then it also makes it easier for the system to pair up all of your homework assignments that you've done. Now, when you get here, your view is going to look, and stop me if there are any questions. So let me take one step back. So, I overlooked that. Okay, so that student, is it Franz? Franz, is that who asked a question about 3, a group of 3?
Yes.
Yes. So if I remember correctly, you are in the middle college. Is that correct? At Lemoore? Yeah. Okay. So under your circumstance, yes. Under your circumstance, we can do that. Okay. But again, that means that you guys, since there's 3 of you guys are expected to kind of take turns with doing the lab. There's a tendency when you guys get in groups, one person takes over, they do the lab all the time. Now, if I start seeing that, I'm going to start deducting points. Right? Kind of pay attention to things like that, especially since I'm having you guys seeing images and stuff, right? So, and because the key is that you guys all need to have those hands-on experiences, okay? And then what I'll do, I'll even open it up to other people who, if you guys are able to get a 3rd, that's fine. But 3, no more than 3, okay? Because if we do that, then it's going to be a lot more complicated. And then I'll actually add that up there, and I'll give you guys room to add that second part, or you could say such and such and that 3rd person, okay? Okay. Any other questions? Let's see. No, I won't be posting the work every week. Ideally, I will be posting it so you guys can actually start getting ahead. We're a little bit behind, partially because the labs, I needed to make sure that we had labs for you guys to do. And so my initial plan of what I was going to have you do, some of that fell through. And then now we're going to fix some other things, right? So I have to make some modifications to the schedule because I'm expecting for you guys to get your physical labs a little bit later than anticipated. I had planned for 3 weeks, but it looks like it may be a little bit more. So I need to make some adjustments to make sure that you guys are getting a complete experience. So, but the answer is you will have the opportunity to work ahead for those who are anxious and really wanting to work ahead. Also, all my lectures all are also on YouTube, and I will give you guys the link to my YouTube site so you guys can actually work through a lot of them. And I made some minor changes to my lectures in terms of combined a couple of things, and then the order might be a little bit different. But you'll have an idea of what the order is. I'll give you guys a final schedule by Sunday. Sunday, I'll send you guys the final schedule, and then all of the lectures. The pre-lectures will be done, so you'll have the opportunity of looking at lectures beforehand. But the lectures that are happening in real time, those are going to be happening, and they're going to replace those pre-lectures because they're going to be more specific. Okay, does that make sense? And hopefully I get better as I age, like a bottle of wine. Okay, so are you doing essays? So the answer is you will have to do a research report. Well, not really a research report, but it's basically you're going to have to make a paper. So you guys are going to be in groups. You have a group project, and your group project consists of you guys doing a parody. It consists of you guys writing a paper, 2,000 word paper on the topic that you're given, and then the last part is presentation. Actually, this is the last part. Part of it is the presentation. So you have a 20-minute presentation. So we will have a day for you guys to sit there and sign up to do presentations that fit into your schedules. Actually, it'll be over 2 or 3 days to try to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to do it. And then you guys give a 20-minute presentation and 5-minute question and answer. So it's a total of 25 minutes that you have to be accounted for. In that presentation, none of that presentation can be you showing a YouTube video of somebody else teaching the material. The concept is that you are going to be the expert in that material. You are the one that's going to be teaching that material. And so I'll be assigning your groups this week. I needed to get an idea of how many people we had left because I know that a lot of your classmates got scared off by the price of the lab. And we're trying to fix that. I didn't realize that the bookstore would mark it up so much, and I apologize for that. But you guys can go directly to the company, and we have enough work for this semester, next semester that they should be able to cover all of the people that are in the classes now for that price. And then it'll also probably teach the bookstore for pumping it up so much. It's kind of ridiculous how much they raise the price up. Okay. So there will be a rubric for the paper and the presentation that will also be posted next week. Right now, I have one currently, but it's going to be modified because, again, you guys are online. It's going to be a little bit different for you guys and how we manage it. But I've done this group project before when we were in COVID. That's how it actually became into being because I needed to find ways of working with students that were national, all across the state or all across the country, and or actually all across the world because we had a couple of people from Japan and various parts of Africa and Canada and other places last time that I taught completely online. So the answer is yes. And so you will also start seeing rubrics pop up for your labs, certain labs, and how we're grading them. And then under exams, they're just kind of straightforward. So you don't have a rubric for that. Okay, so did I answer all your questions? Those are all very good questions. Can acknowledge me. Thumbs up. Yes, did the lab not show up? Can you not see the lab? Stop sharing.
It should be under task list on week
What's
2.
that?
Under the task list on week 2 in the modules, there should be a link to the lab.
Thank you.
You found it?
Yeah, I found.
Thank you, Israel. Yeah, those are important questions because it's still, we're learning to navigate the Canvas shell, and half the time, and you can ask Israel about this, I believe I have it active or visible. And so I'll have it visible in terms of assignment. So you may be able to see the assignment, but you may not be able to access the assignment because I didn't access the module. So we're gonna try to fix that by having most of the modules already active, or they will be open after you've completed that very first module that's before it. And so then the next one should open up. So then that way you can get ahead. Because I know some of you guys are really anxious to get through chemistry. And so I'm gonna try to make it accessible in that sense. And again, there are aspects of Canvas that I'm still learning, and other aspects that I thought I was an expert at, and I screw up every once in a while. It's gonna happen. I'm not gonna, try to make any excuses. It's gonna happen. I apologize in advance. Just let me know and I'll try to get that resolved as soon as I can. Okay. Let's see. So are we good on, is everybody good? Everybody here good on active learning? You guys were all able to get in, no problems? Okay. So I'm gonna go to the student view. So on your page, it should look something like this, right? And how many of you guys have cell phones? Everybody has cell phones?
Yes.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys go to your cell phone, after you've registered for active learning through the Canvas shell, the other thing I should probably say, you wanna make sure that you're using either Chrome or Firefox when you're using active learning. Otherwise, it's not gonna let you finish the registration process. So you have to use Chrome or Firefox, okay? So when you get here, you're gonna have, if it's in class, that basically means that we're talking about something in class. So again, you guys are online. We may do some on-class activities, but they're not gonna count towards your grade. They're just to kind of help you understand the problem. So you can participate if you're via Zoom. Most cases, you won't be able to access it outside of it. You may be able to look at the question, but you may not be able to answer the question, okay? And I'm working on a way to try to figure out ways that you guys can do it on your own time as well too. Other than the homework, I can't think of any other way, but we already have your homework assignments. So your homework assignments are the ones that are really gonna be counted. And if you guys take a look here, and I will reopen up the homework one so that you guys will have an access to, if you, sorry, the module one getting started. I will open that up so that you guys will be able to go ahead and get started. It looks like I posted two for you guys by accident. And you guys probably did on both of them, right? And they were the same thing, but I'll fix that on my end. And then your other homework is due in 4 days. I'm actually gonna extend that. So your homeworks are always gonna be due on Saturdays at 11:59 p.m. And if you guys took a look, if you kind of paid attention to that link that I showed you that were important links. Also on Saturday, I have a 2 hours where I am on Zoom, and I probably will be either at a bar or in my living room having a cocktail or a coffee. It depends on the day and how I'm feeling. So during the time period, it's open for you guys to come in. You can have a cocktail with me or a coffee with me or a Coke with me, and we can just discuss things, right? So you can kind of discuss science or things that are happening. You can talk about the homework. You can talk about quizzes. You can talk about how much you hate the way I teach. It's open. It's open for you guys to come in and interact, okay? So one part of online learning is that we need to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to interact with me. And I like that physical interactions. When I get a lot of emails, sometimes I misinterpret what you guys are saying and I take it the wrong way. I take it personally, right? And I don't like taking these personally. Then I meet you and you're like, you're just simply asking me a very simple question. And I'm like, man, I got all mad about that, and so sometimes it's good to have that type of interaction. So I'm giving you guys a chance to sit there and comment if you want to. You're not required, it's not a requirement, but it's also set up so that it's 2 hours, or actually looks like it's 4 hours before your homework is due, right? So if you're smart and you kind of like, oh, I got stuck on a couple of problems, hey, you have an opportunity to come in there and get some homework done. Now, also remember it's a Saturday, right? So I'm giving you guys one of my weekend, you know? And so, you know, try to have a little fun, you know, don't be wild up and crazy, you know? Not too wild up and crazy, at least. Okay? So if you guys actually go through, and I wanted to show you this, one of the things that students typically have trouble with is called the drag and drop, right? So I want to take you guys through a very quick problem. Did I not put any in here? Oh, I did. Okay, so here's an example, okay? So question number 35. So on the drag and drop, it's literally drag and drop. So you always want to figure out what is your starting point and where you want to go to. So in this case, my starting value, so we read the question, it says a fuel tank holds 22.3 gallons of gasoline. If the density of gasoline is 0.8206 grams per milliliter, what is the mass in kilograms of gasoline in a tank, in a full tank? Okay, so what would be my starting point? What am I starting off with? What are some of my givens?
22.3 gallons.
22.3 gallons. So this is an excellent starting point, and this is what you probably want to start with, because the density is actually serving as a conversion for us, right? Because it allows us to go from volume to mass. Are you guys familiar with volume and mass? Does anybody know the definition of volume? Well, I'll tell you this time. Volume represents the space that's being occupied. And so gallons, liters, milliliters, pints, ounces, fluid ounces. So those are all examples of volumes, okay? Where mass represents like the weight of something, okay? And that, we use the term weight, we'll get a very distinct definition after that very first lecture tomorrow. And so, or if you guys have already watched it, you probably already know that distinction. Anyway, in the case of mass, units per mass would be pounds, it would be grams, it would be kilograms, it would be milligrams, it would be tons. So those would be examples of mass, okay? And so the density is serving as a conversion factor for us to do that. So I need to ask you guys some personal questions, some really quick personal questions, okay? So how many of you guys are dating or have dated or are married or has somebody that they've been looking at?
Me.
Okay, so I got one person. Everybody else not dating? Okay, 2 people. Okay, good, at least we got 2. So you may be able to relate to this at some point. So if you have dated or if you dated in the past, and then you currently have a new boo or something like that, or a new love of your life or something to that extent, there's a transition that happened, right? So if you had somebody in the past, you probably, you thought you were connected, you thought you were a good match and everything like that. And then you start noticing maybe not so much. Or you moved away, you went away to school, or they moved away and they went away to school, or something like that. And then even if you haven't done that yet, you're probably gonna go to college, go off to a 4-year, and your significant other may not join you when you decide to go off for that 4-year. So then when you get to that new 4-year, you may say that to that significant other, say, oh, we can do a long distance relationship, right? So when you guys do that long distance relationship, initially, you're going to be, calling them every day and checking in on them, and they're going to be checking in on you and stuff like that. But then as you start going to your classes and you start making friends and you start meeting people, you'll start looking around and you realizing that, maybe you're from a small town, there weren't a lot of options initially, and maybe that guy wasn't quite the guy that you thought he was, right? And then you start interacting with somebody in your group and you're like, oh, that guy's really cool. He treats me really good. Oh my gosh, he's really smart. Or girl, or whomever you're looking for, right? And then you'll start noticing that, the old one is starting to lose its priority. They're not as important as this new one because this new one is currently here. They're also having all of these great qualities that I had been looking for, that I wanted. And then, they'll give you a quick text and you'll be like, hey, I'm busy right now, can't talk. And then they'll try to give you a call and then you'll be hitting cancel. And then just text them real quick, I'll call you back later on. And gradually they'll start tapering off less and less because they become less of a priority for you, right? So if we kind of think about this and we kind of apply this to kind of science and life in general, when something becomes a priority towards you, don't you put it on top? Can you acknowledge me? Meaning that you make it more important, you make room for it.
Yes.
Okay, so you put it on top, right? So when you're doing conversions, it's going to be exactly the same thing. So if we like to think of gallons as our old boyfriend or our old girlfriend, and we want to get to kilograms, because that's where we want to get to, and that's going to be the new one. That's where we're going towards. So gallons is the old, so gallons is going to be on the bottom. So is there a way that I can get from, we know that there's a conversion of grams per milliliter. And we know that gallons is part of the United States customary system, or we would often call it the imperial system, okay? So if we want to go from gallons to liters, do anybody know the conversion for that?
1 liter is 2.2 gallons.
Not 2.2, but 1 liter is, if you guys can actually Google it, I'll let you guys Google it. Anybody say, if you have 1 gallon, how many liters?
3.785.
Okay, so 1 gallon, so we're just gonna drag 1 gallon on the bottom because that's the one we're trying to get rid of. And now liters is the new one, so we're gonna put that one on top. Okay, now this allows us to sit there and cross out units. So if you guys have like numbers that are over each other, so if you got 5 over 5, what does that equal? Let me write that out.
We can cross it out.
It crosses out, right? It just equals 1. So that's the same thing that's going to happen with units. If you have a unit over a unit that's exactly the same, it's just going to cross out. It's going to be 1. Okay? So now what we're going to do, we're going to add another factor because now we have liters. But we want to try to get it to units that are in our problem, such as milliliters. So then, how many of you guys speak Spanish?
I do.
Okay, so if you speak Spanish, you may know this. If you don't, then you may not. You're going to learn something new today. So mil, and I know I said it wrong, mil means what?
You said mil?
Mil, yeah.
Like million?
Does it mean a million? In Spanish? Mil.
Mil. Like, 1,000?
1,000, right? So, mil means 1,000. So, millimeter means 1,000 millimeters will equal 1 meter. Okay? So, it's a good way of remembering it. So, if I have, 1 liter. So, if I have milliliters, 1,000 milliliters will equal 1 liter. So that's how I always remember it. Even though my Spanish is horrible, she thought, she's like, you said what? Not mealworms. Okay, so then I'm gonna, again, do some drag and drop, and I'm gonna put 1,000 milliliters on top. So then my liters cancel out. Okay, so then that allows me to sit there and get it to milliliters. And then I can use my density itself. I'm gonna add another factor, and then I can just drag this over. And anytime that you have grams per milliliter, it's understood to be whatever that value is of grams per 1 milliliter. So that slash milliliters just means 1 milliliter. Okay? So what is the conversion? Do you guys know the conversion from grams to kilograms? How many grams will equal a kilogram? Well, I'm going to share with you. So 1,000 grams
1,000 grams.
are going to equal 1 kilogram. Okay? And don't get discouraged. You know, you guys, a lot of you guys have not seen and done math or done conversions for years. So the reason why we have these homework problems is so that you guys will have the opportunity to kind of brush off some of those cobwebs after you listen to the lecture, and even before you listen to the lecture. Try them out, see what you can do. You have 5 attempts in most cases to do the homework assignments. Some of the questions are multiple guess. There are only 4 choices, so 5 attempts, you should definitely be able to get the multiple guess ones, right? So let's go ahead and put that conversion here. Kilogram over grams. Okay, so then you're going to hit the equal, and what you're going to do is you're going to actually multiply across. So this is kind of like having 22.3 gallons over 1. So that's going to represent everything that's going to be on top. So then what I want you guys to do is multiply 22.3 times 3.785 times 1,000 times 0.8206 times 1. And then you're just going to divide it by what is 1 times 1 times 1 times 1,000? 1 times itself is what? 1, if I add 1 times 1, that's going to equal what? Anyone there? Oh wait, I got some answers in chat box. No, I have any answers in the chat box. 1 times 1 is what?
1.
1. Man, this is a rough class. I have 12, 13, 15 people here, and only one person knew what 1 times 1 is. Okay, so then what is 1 times 1,000?
1,000.
1,000.
Thank you, 1,000. Okay, I know it's rough. Yeah, okay, so now we're ready to start. So if you guys go ahead and do that for me, pull out your phones. I know you guys have your phone available because I hear somebody texting in the background. What did you guys end up with? Okay, so we may want to check that out. That seems like a little too big, that 69 point. Yeah, 69.2. Okay, good. So 69.23, yes. Okay, so that brings us to another topic. That other topic is called significant figures. We'll be talking about that tomorrow in class. So I'll save it for tomorrow. But it's 69.3 will be the answer. Get back over there. Okay, my computer won't behave. And then the units would be
Kilograms.
kilograms. So if you go ahead and hit submit, you should end up with the correct answer. Did you guys end up with the correct answer? And if you didn't, check to make sure that your units are in the right place, because it's important that your units be in the correct position, because it would mean something entirely different if they weren't. Okay, and so you guys got a freebie. Now all you got to do is 57 problems. Man, I got soft. I used to give 105 for that very first homework assignment.
It's almost 80 something for me.
What was that?
It was like 80 something for me.
You got 80 something?
Yeah, when I took your class.
Oh yeah, that's true. So yeah, but you were
We're
like,
lucky.
you were the third year after I had been using this. So it's gradually gone down. The older I get, the nicer I get, I guess. Okay, so are you guys good on that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about scientific method. So how many of you guys have kids, siblings, brothers and sisters that are really young, nieces and nephews that are really young?
E.
I got 1, 2, 3. Wow, okay. Okay, so you, Laura, you probably know this better than anyone. Okay, you can answer at any point, feel comfortable doing it. So when your kids were little, did they come up to you and ask you, Mommy, why is the sky green? Why is the sky blue? Why is the grass green? Why do dogs have 2 ears? Why do dogs' tails wag? So yeah, all the time. So, and how many of you guys do that now? So many, yes, you get so many whys, exactly. And then you being a mom, being very busy and trying to, I gotta do my homework. Go play the video game. You know, go, here, use my phone. Play that game that you like playing, you know? So our first instinct is just to push them away, right? So, but what you guys are seeing is that, oh, you said Google. Google is your friend. So you send them to Google already? Wow. Okay, so your kids are being scientists. That's part of science, you know, that question. Now, you guys notice, the first thing that they did was to do what?
What was the question again?
I said, what was the first thing that those kids did when they asked that why question? What did they do right before they started asking that question?
They observed.
They observed. So when we talk about scientific method, the very first thing that we do is make an observation. And so kids always make an observation. So then the next thing is they develop a question. Why? How? When? You know? So they start asking those questions. Okay? And then they start developing hypotheses, especially if you don't step in and answer their questions. Let me give you an example. When I was a kid, I noticed that on one part of my lawn, it was yellow. On the other part of my lawn, it was green. And so I'm gonna walk around a little bit. I like walking around. Let me know if you can't hear me. So in that case, I said, I wonder why it's yellow here and it's green here. The next thing I noticed was my dog was peeing in the green phone. And so my dog Princess would always pee on the green part. She would never pee in the yellow. And so I said, oh, okay. And so I would ask my mom, hey mom, so why is the grass green there and yellow here? And during that time, it was like I was still young and everything. And mom was like, didn't like all those songs. I'm busy, trying to dinner. Just go play, you know? So she's pushing aside. So then I said, well, I think it's because Princess Pete's there, right? That's the reason why it's green. So then I said, well, if I pee here, then it should turn green. Okay? So then that's what I did. I went over there, did, pee, right? And so I did that for a couple of days and everything like that. And I noticed it wasn't turning green. But I noticed Princess would pee a couple of times a day in that area. So I figured, well, maybe it's because I'm not getting enough pee. Maybe I don't pee enough. And so I said to all my friends, hey, come over, come over. Okay, so we're gonna all pee here, right? And they all look at me like, hey, why are we peeing here? Well, because it's yellow and I want it to be green like that part of the grass. To be green. And so we all start peeing. So then, still, it wasn't turning green. So then, I went and I had to bring your dogs because maybe it's because Princess is a dog and we need dog feeders, right? So we all peed there, we had the dog pee there, and everything like that. And then my mom sees me, right? She says, why are you boys peeing in the yard, right? So she comes and she spanks me in the butt. What are you doing? Why are you sitting there, have your thing up, peeing all over the place, stuff like that, and have your friends peeing all over the place? What are you doing? And she says, and why does it smell so bad? So I tell her, I said, Mom, I asked you, I said, why is it yellow here and green here? I said, it has to be because Princess pees over here and she doesn't pee here. And so it has to be that. And so, it has to be because there needs to be. And then my mom kind of looks at me and she laughs and everything like that. After she studied everything. And she says, yeah, you're gonna be my little scientist. I can already tell. So she goes and she pulls back some of the bushes and everything like that. And she puts some water down there and everything like that. And then we go to the house and stuff like that. We come back a few days later, we notice that now it's starting to turn a little green. We come back a couple days later, it comes a little more green. And then she says, okay, so now what did you learn from this? And I said, well, Mom, I said, maybe it was the fact that we didn't pee enough and we need to add water to make sure the pee got everywhere around. And she's like, no, you missed the point. You missed the point. Right? It was the pee, it was the water, it was the sun. That's what caused it to turn. Right? And then now, I know that it was a little bit more than that. That pee helped out a little bit because it had a little bit of cream, which is a nitrogen source, which helps that process. Okay? So, if you guys can tell me this process, so what did I do right after I asked that question? Why? What did I do? Let's see. So you handed out tablets? Okay. Are you guys there?
Yes.
Okay, so what did I do? Other than pee on the ground. What was the thing that I said? Why? Why was it pee that was the magic? What did I do? Okay, let me help you. I established a hypothesis. What was my hypothesis? This is a rough class.
I'm sorry.
So you guys can hear about the pee on the ground? Okay? So I established a hypothesis that was stated. Okay, so I gotta let you know earlier. It was a really good story. Can you hear me now? So I established the hypothesis, and the hypothesis was because my dog peed, it causes the grass to be green. Okay? So then I did experiments, right? So if you guys take a look on the board, I did a couple of experiments to sit there and prove that hypothesis. Then, after we did that, we looked at the results. So the first time it didn't turn green. So then what did I do? So if it doesn't turn green that first time, we do what?
Do it again?
You do it again, but you change your hypothesis. So my hypothesis went from it's just P, meaning I need more P. Let me get my friends in. So then we tested that. And it didn't work. So then we did it again. So eventually, you're going to go through until you get results that you can make a conclusion. Well, each time you do the experiment, you have a conclusion. But you want to get results that you get to a conclusion that either answers your hypothesis or disproves your hypothesis. So what you guys are going to be doing today for lab, you guys are going to do the M&M's scientific method. So you guys each should go get a bag of M&M's. You guys are going to count all of your M&M's. You're going to separate them in colors. And then you're going to record the colors. And Israel is going to take you to a page. There's a link in the lab itself where you just click and you're going to enter your data. Right? So you want to make sure you enter your name and enter your data. And then you guys are going to use that data to make a graph and to make some assumptions and to finish answering these questions. Okay? Can you guys do that? Yes.
There was a little bit of echo, so I didn't really understand. We're supposed to separate the M&Ms in cups and then?
Yeah, so you're going to separate the M&Ms according to colors. And then you're going to record that on a table. Israel's going to take you to the link to that table.
Okay.
I'll work on getting a mic because it does echo quite a bit. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so Israel, you have control. You got it?
Yes.
You have your bag of M&Ms?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to see pictures. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.
So just in case if you guys still can't find the lab manual, we're gonna go to modules and then scroll to week 2 and then task list, and it should be number 4.
Oh, okay.
And then, well, yours is gonna look a little different than this, but you should be able to see the lab itself. So before we start anything, let's answer a few questions on the lab. If I'm going too fast, let me know. So number 1 is, what do you want to know about your bag? Ask a question and then write it down. Think about the bag of M&Ms. And then number 2, make a prediction. Give you guys a minute here.
Do we have to work on the lab right now?
So if you can't right now, I will have this uploaded within 2 days. I'm here just for the students that want to work and ask questions.
Oh, okay. It's just because I'm picking up my son, so I'm just doing that real
Okay.
quick.
Okay, you're fine. So in the what kind of question can we ask? That's up to you. It could be, I wonder how many orange M&Ms the bag will have. And then your prediction could be the number of orange M&Ms. That could be an example. Yeah, the question can be about quantity since we're going to be counting. And then after we're asking our question, let's open our bag and start counting if you haven't already. Uh, just it doesn't matter which bag, as long as it could just be one of them. If you want to open more, that's fine, but one should be enough. So in the document, the lab manual, there's this Google document. Click on that and it should take you to this page. Can everyone see the page?
Yes.
Okay. And here you're gonna fill out your data. So your name, total amount of M&Ms, and then the color. How many you have for each one. So I'll give you guys a minute to do that. Do we have to turn in this lab? Yes. There should be an upload button when you're done. So as we're going through the questions, write down the answers to them. And then there should be an upload at the end. If not, I'll have it up shortly after this session. Are we supposed to take pictures of the M&Ms? I would say yes, because Dr. Henry does want proof that you've done the lab. So
Where
once you go ahead.
Where will we post the M&M pictures?
So I believe when you turn in the lab, you take a picture and then you would upload it as a PDF on the same module. Does it not give you the option? And then the question says, I separated my M&Ms. What are we supposed to count? So count each color. So for me, I have 2 red. So I will write down 2 red. Okay. Everyone should have their data. And then let's move on. Now we have to answer this next question. List the mean, median, and mode of the M&Ms. How familiar are you guys with these terms? Do you guys remember what median and mode mean? Mean equals less. Okay, so mean is the middle number in the data set. I believe so.
Median is the middle number. When you lie them all from the smallest to the largest, whatever comes in the middle is the median. And mode is the most number. So if you had 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6, then 6, 6, 6 would be your mode.
Okay, and mean?
Mean is you add everything and then divide it by 2.
Yeah, the average. Yeah, okay. Did everyone get that? If not, we do have a video to show just in case. So mean is the average. So that means you add up everything and divide it by how many digits you have. Median is the middle number in your data set. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 3 would be your median. And then mode is the number that shows up often. So like in the example, she said we have 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. The mode would be 4 since it shows up the most. So can I annotate? So can you guys see this? Can you see my writing on the screen?
Yes.
So the medium would be number 3. And then mode. Sorry if the writing is bad. I'm using my mouse. So our mode would be 4. So now that we refreshed it, go ahead and answer. What is the mean of your M&Ms? What is the median? And what is the mode? And we use the data set from our accounting to answer these questions. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to answer this. If you have a calculator, go ahead and use it for the average. So after you separated them by color, count how many of each color you have. So for instance, I have 2 red. Okay. So that data you took, that's what we're using to get our 3 answers. Are we finding the mean of every color? So we're using all of our data. So I'll show you guys what mine looks like. So I have 6 orange, 3 blue, 2 red, 6 yellow, 4 green, and 2 brown. So I'm going to take this data set and I'm going to arrange them from smallest to biggest. So 2, 2, 3, 4, 6, 6. So I'm going to take the average. So for the average, I add everything in my set and divide it by however many digits I have. So I have 6 here. And my total is 23. And this will give you my mean. If I look at my data set, what would be my median? What's the middle number on my data? Three. So I actually have two numbers in the middle. And if that happens, simply just add them and divide by 2. And that'll get me my median. Sorry if I didn't say that earlier. And then what would be my mode? What digit shows up the most? So I actually have 2 of them. It'll be 2 and 6. There's 2 2s here, and there's 2 6s here. And that's how I find my mean, median, and mode. Okay. So now that we have our data, I think it's time to think about what we have. So we have a few questions here that are designed to make you think about the lab that you just did. So here we first have is, what other information can you get out of your table? So looking at your numbers, what can you derive from it? And remember, there's no right or wrong answer for this lab. We're here to take you through the scientific method. So it can be anything that you got from this lab or from your numbers. Like I'll say this, Eminem hates red. I only got 2 of them. Chocolates are not all the same amount. Yep. From my data, it looks like Eminem's favors brighter colors because the brightest colors are the ones that appear the most for me, but it can be different from you. So go ahead and write down what you think. And let's look at the next question. Let's say the data contained on the table did not help you answer your original question. Think back to what you originally thought of when we first started. Do you think gathering this data was wasteful or a useful use of your time? And then say why. So go ahead and write down what you think. Next question. Based on your data, what interferences can we make about the typical bag of M&Ms? Can we provide exact numbers? What do you think it's asking there? Is there anything that's causing your data to show how it is? Are there any factors that can cause our data to look the way it does? Are we always going to have the same amount? Next question. If you were given a larger bag, let's say we use the party size, do you think uh, a larger count would help your data? Do you think having more data will help you prove your hypothesis? And then this next question I ask, if given a bag of peanut M&Ms, can we say anything about them based on our data? So let's say you chose normal M&Ms. Do you think your data is going to look the same if they're peanuts, or vice versa, or any different kind? Do you think our data will help prove something about the data of a different kind of bag? So I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes to write down your thoughts on these questions here. Can you help on number 12? Yeah. Say, if given a bag of peanut M&Ms, can we say anything about them based on our data? So this is worded a little bit differently than I would like it to be, but it's fine. So Michaela, we'll use your bag, for example. So what flavor or kind of M&Ms did you get?
The regular ones?
Okay. And you counted and everything?
Not yet.
Okay. So we'll still use regular as an example. So you have a regular bag of M&Ms, the brown one, and you got all your data, counted all the colors and everything. But let's say you grab another bag that's peanuts. Can we make any assumptions about the peanut bag based on the regular one? Are we going to assume they're similar or different?
I would say they would be different.
Okay. And why do you think that?
Can anyone answer?
Yeah.
It could be because the peanut M&Ms, they're a little bigger, so maybe they're different in quantity.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. Is every bag made the same? So even on regular,
Different colors.
yeah. The color count is probably going to be different. Quantity as well, as someone mentioned earlier. So should we move on to conclusion, or do you guys still want to write some more?
This is gonna be posted in 2 days, right?
Yes, I'll have a recording of this up
Okay.
within the next few days. So last section is this table. And it's the scientific method and each of the steps. So what we did was the scientific method at its most basic form. So we need to get into the thought process of using this method for every lab. So you start lab, ask yourself a question about the lab, and then form a hypothesis about the lab. You know, you do your experiment and then analyze the data that you've gathered and then form a conclusion. Did it answer your question? Was the hypothesis that you formed correct? And it's not always going to be yes. It's okay for it to be no. You know, that's why we're here. You knew nothing about the lab, so it it doesn't hurt for your question to not be answered or for your hypothesis to be correct. And if it wasn't correct, why do you think that? Like, why do you think the hypothesis was wrong? Is there anything you could have done differently? Are there factors that are outside your control that can all go in your conclusion? I don't see a due date. Oh, okay. August 30th, which I believe is next Wednesday. So you have until, oh wait, I have a question. For number 13, do we add the same question we had in the beginning? Yes. So the question and hypothesis you thought of when we first started, just add it to the table. So you guys will have until Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. to submit this. There should be a submit button. Um, you'll do it, you'll upload what you wrote down, your answers to your questions on there. And I believe you would also attach the photo or video of you doing it on there as well. Um, but yeah, that's the end of the lab. I just want to go over a few more things just for the people that weren't here when the class started. Um, so the vouchers for the lab kits, Dr. Henry said he will be getting them on Thursday. So that's the day he'll let you guys know, for those in financial need, how much of a discount it would be. So if you emailed him, he will get back to you. If he doesn't, email me and I'll remind him. Next thing is everyone should be able to access active learning. And I believe there's still a trial for it for about 1 more week. So get on that if you haven't already. If you missed an assignment, I believe he is extending it to Saturday. Okay, yeah. If you're done and you heard all of this, feel free to leave. I'll see you guys next week. So for active learning, bye-bye. Bye, friends. Bye, Adam. Yeah, for active learning, there is an app for it on your phone. You could download it and do your homework through there. If you're on a computer or laptop, make sure you're on Chrome or Firefox, as those are the only 2 browsers it'll work on. So that's a reminder for that. There is an assignment that's been extended to this Saturday. I believe it was last week's assignment. So if you didn't get a chance, now you do. There is a new survey for partners. So I'll show you guys that here just a second. So if you go under modules, scroll to week 2. There's this tab here, says lab partners and alternative Zoom sessions. Click on it, and you should be given an access to a survey. Yes, it should look like this. So take the time to fill that out. Ideally, as soon as possible. It looks like you guys have until the 28th to do this. And I believe that's it of what he went over. And again, if I missed something, his section of today's session is also going to be attached to the recording. So other than that, see you guys next week.